benefits only when using you. I ain't here for long, so tell them play this at my funeral. Now I'm reincarnated, I'm still busy murking you. While I'm busy murking through the summer nights I joyride, I'm just thinking back and imagining that they only love you when you're gone, busy fading to black. And everybody wants someone, something, no one they're nothing. Know these wants, know these needs, they know the value of nothing.
Yes, people, we are back in the damn building. It's been a minute that I've done one of these young player vlogs. Apologies for that, but we're back, man. We're back. We've got quite a few players that we can kind of waddle through. And one of those players who, you know, he's been on the radar now for the last few months of quite a lot of fans, more than anything, to be honest with you, in terms of taking notice of him. You know, his performances for Arsenal this season have been absolutely fantastic. You know, anytime he's had to step in, whether it be off the bench, whether it be starting games, whether it be in midfield, whether it be at left back, where he's predominantly, you know, been playing even though he's a midfielder. And that is Myles Lewis-Skelly. You know, fantastic player, absolutely fantastic player. And I think this looks like a player who Arsenal have done very well with throughout the youth academy, but also done really well in making sure that he is tied down, especially being 18 years of age, you know, with the world at his feet at this current moment in time, putting in really good performances. The world is kind of his oyster at this moment in time. But let's dive into him anyway. So, as I said before, 18 years of age. He's still young. And of course, this season, you know, he's kind of broke through as a left back, which is always hilarious when you see players coming through not in the position that you would have originally, you know, kind of touted them for. But it was quite clear to see with someone like Skelly, you know, that this was a very talented individual, you know, from the youth set up, you know, at the age of about, I think it was 14 years of age. You know, this guy was appearing for the Arsenal under 18s. So you could tell from then, you know, when someone's appearing 4 years above his age group, you know, there must be something at the bare minimum. There's got to be something there, because otherwise that would just be detrimental, you know, to his development. But listen, Jack Wilshere has spoken about him, you know, coaches in for the academy setup, you know, quite a few other managers and coaches have spoken about him. And, you know, there's been a lot of talk with, you know, Arteta, you know, the youngsters, you know, Wanyeri took a minute before he can really get introduced and put into the squad and things like that. And it has, of course, taken an injury crisis for Arsenal to kind of really trust someone like Lewis-Skelly. But sometimes you never know. Sometimes there are players that you just have to throw in at the deep end. You need to know if they can sink or swim. And to me, he looks like someone who can swim better than Phelps at this current moment in time, you know, without putting too much, on the kid. At the end of the day, man's still 18. You know, so it's not like we're looking at him and thinking, yeah, this is the next Messi. He's not of that type of talent level. But what he is he's showing that he's someone who's playing beyond his years. You know, them years of him playing as a 14-year-old with the under 18s, you can kind of see that now, because he's kind of doing that now. 18, but playing, or just turned 18, but 17, 18, playing with guys who are 25, 29, 30, 32, 33s, people who have years of experience in the game of football. He's showing that, yeah, it's calm. I've got no worries here, you know, to be honest with you, ever since he made, you know, his debut for Arsenal this season. Now, in terms of his actual quality, and, you know, in terms of attributes and stuff like that and position, it's so funny because we've already seen him, you know, already in the Premier League, for most people anyway, you know, if you've not watched him in the academy and if you're not an Arsenal supporter. So we've seen him as this kind of left back, you know, someone who's comfortable in possession, you know, good passer of the ball. He seems to have quite a bit of strength. He's okay in, you know, 1v1 kind of battles. His positioning seems to be all right. But, you know, coming through the academy, and you guys can see with some of the videos and highlights here, you know, this guy was a midfielder. He was a bit of a controller, if I'm being honest with you. You know, he's quite a versatile all-round kind of player. You know, he can, as I mentioned before, being able to pass the ball. You can see with the strength as well, you know, that he does possess. He's got good coordination, decent pace, and he just seemed to be someone who was quietly just intelligent at, you know, what he needed to kind of do. And I think that was always going to work well and, you know, in his favor. You know, being able to, you know, dictate tempo from such a young age, you know, being quite a creative individual. Like I say, for me, it's the controller. That's the way I kind of saw him. And I thought that was going to be the way, you know, look at the way he turns out there. I thought that was what he was going to inevitably be in this Arsenal team. Now, of course, obviously with the injuries that Arsenal have had, Arteta's obviously seen that, him being left-footed, obviously, as always, us left-footers, we just get shunted out anywhere. Anywhere on the left that you just need a position, we always, get put out into these kind of areas and stuff like that. But again, he's not moaned about it. He's just shown, listen, like a duck to water, he can do it. And he looks like a really, really good player. When it does come to Skelly himself, love the surname, by the way. When it does come to, Myles, I think it's just going to be interesting to see how his future, kind of progresses. Because there's been talk, people are saying, should he, potentially get an England call-up quite soon. Now, we know with England, the problem they've got at this current moment in time is that they don't have that many left footers. If I'm being totally honest with you, quite a lot of people who are right footed seemingly are playing out there on the left because, they don't really have that many people who can play there. Now, he can play there. Clearly, we've seen it. This isn't a game. This isn't, no, he can play there. And I think he'd be comfortable over a period of time, of course, if he continues to stay there and he becomes just a left back. But I feel like he's someone who's going to end up in midfield. Something about him doesn't scream to me, stay in this position. And obviously, Arsenal do have left backs. They're just injured. So I think with someone like him, he's just got to look at it and think, listen, if this is a way for me to break into the squad, obviously if I perform excellently in this position, then I'll stay here. It's just one of those things. This is where I can play games, right? But there's going to probably be those odd times, especially with the way that Arteta and Arsenal want to play, with the, potentially with the fullbacks inverting. Then you've got someone who basically knows that position anyway, not someone who is just comfortable in that position. No, I've got someone who actually plays that position, but is actually also playing really well at left back. So, we can put him in there. We can get him to invert. He can help us in those central areas while still being, a decent defender for us on that left-hand side. So, yeah, listen, he's only 18 years of age. The world is at his feet at his current moment in time. As I said, people are talking about him, for England and everything like that. So it would be really, really interesting to, to kind of see. He has got his England youth caps, under 16s all the way to under 19s. Under 21s is literally just around the corner, to be honest with you. I think he'll probably be in that next squad for the under 21s. I'll be very shocked if he wasn't anyway. So yeah, I think for someone like him, keep your, your feet on the ground. Keep doing your thing. Who am I to tell a professional player, by the way? But, keep your feet on the ground. And I think this time next season, you might be looking at someone who's already played potentially up to 50 games by this time next season. So by next January, you could be looking at him thinking he's played about 50 odd games, if not more. He's been quite pivotal in what Arsenal have been trying to do. So why not? But let me know your thoughts on Lewis-Skelly and make sure you guys hit the like button. Peace out.
Benefits only when using you. I ain't here for long, so tell them play this at my funeral. Now I'm reincarnated, I'm still busy murking you. While I'm busy murking through the summer nights I joyride, I'm just thinking back and imagining that they only love you when you're gone, busy fading to black. And everybody wants someone, something, knowing they're nothing. And all these wants, all these needs, they know the value of nothing.